Intelligence System Analytic Computer is activated. All ISAC systems are confirmed online. Alert. Contamination scan initiated. Warning. Contaminated supplies detected.
DC-62, the designated name of a scientist's bogus excuse for a cure to the dollar flu plague. It's what happens when desperation gets the upper hand against really smart people trying to do some good in the world. It's what happens when you rush and make mistakes. Now, the areas formerly known as DZ East, West, and South are officially out of commission without the use of high-grade air filtration masks and protective clothing. If we can learn anything here, it's that you should always double-check your work, especially when it might kill an entire population if you screw up. So what is it? We know it's deadly, yeah, but what does it look like? What does it do? How do I not catch round 2 of the deadly airborne toxin that wants to wipe out the entire population? DC-62 is a yellow, powdery substance in appearance that, as far as I've been able to gather from deceased reports and audio logs, is odorless and tasteless. You can only see it visually, and believe me, you will know it when you see it. It hangs in the air like a cloud, clinging to surfaces and shifting at the slightest breeze. Due to its ability to cling to anything that comes into contact with it, anything that goes in or out of a designated DC-62 hotspot should be labeled as contaminated and should be sterilized as soon as possible. When it comes to its development, things get real interesting real quick. The green poison has a 90% infection rate to the human population, a very wide range in its genetic drift due to everything that's inside of it, and a 99% mortality rating to those who are infected. Due to these factors, it's obvious why someone would want to cure this thing ASAP. Enter trials of variously failed vaccines and lab tests that showed little to no potency against the virus. While other variable names are not known for the failed cures, DC-62 was most likely labeled for its location and batch number. After insufficient testing in a lab, a large batch was sent to be deployed in Georgetown, now known as DZ West. They expected it to at the very least slow the virus temporarily and help give them more time. As we know now, that didn't happen. DC-62, when mixed with green poison, which is something that was running rampant in these quarantine zones, turns from benign to a fully blown, highly toxic chemical agent. On deployment, DC-62 bonded with the virus and became just as lethal as the green poison, with the added benefit of being toxic to even those who are immune to the original virus strains. It left a path of destruction across concentrated areas of Washington, D.C. If you're in the district, you know these famous areas as dark zones west, south, and east. You should also steer clear of anywhere that's draped in yellow tarps and sealed off. Believe me when I say that they are sealed for your protection. There's a building that used to be the George Washington University Hospital, a building that used to house the Federal Reserve to the southwest, the Department of Agriculture and the Smithsonian Museum of Natural History to the south, and the Constitution Center to the southeast. Those are your no-go zones. As for the original deployment in DZ West, the methods couldn't be any more unscientific. JTF literally tossed barrels of the stuff into the backs of trucks and drove around the neighborhood with the tops of the barrels off of them to ensure that it was spread as wide as it possibly could be. To give you an idea of the kind of chaos that this caused, there are reports of tanks of DC-62 exploding in the deployment. When it comes to the physical effects of DC-62, autopsy reports range widely, from burns across the skin, closing of main airways as the body rejects the substance, and in some cases the exact same symptoms of the green poison itself. The truth is, most people who died of the compound are so contaminated that getting a proper autopsy is next to impossible without the coroner getting infected and dying along with the patient. Suffice to say, it's deadly. It has ruined lives spared by the green poison and has created a world that was on recovery and reduced it back to fear. I ventured into these contaminated zones. I had to see what this did for myself, and I wish I hadn't. drawings that children put up on walls next to their incubation chambers, bodies both big and small under yellow tarps, and long lines dotting hallways, recordings and echoes of people just trying to live out their last days the best that they could as they slowly suffocated. What I'm about to play for you may be hard to hear, but this gives you just a glimpse of the reality that is living with DC-62.
Intel detected. Analysis complete. Alert. Intercepting transmission.
You should have taken them to the quarantine.
These people deserve respect and care, not to be treated like cattle.
You don't get to decide. You're endangering people by being here.
There's no risk to anyone beyond this fence. I put up these signs to make sure of that.
Yeah, what if one of them decides they don't want to stay here no more?
They're terrified of infecting anyone. That's why most of them are here. They don't want to cause harm, but they also don't want to go through what they're going through alone. Fear can be a terrible thing. It can lead to anger, and from anger to hatred. If you know what a person hates, you also know what they fear.
Doesn't do much good if they're coming after you with pitchforks and torches. Do you smell gas? We'll give you a chance to come out, sister.
You can't do this!
I'm pretty sure we can. You're about to find out for yourself if you don't get out of there.
I will not.
Suit yourself. What the hell is going on here? This doesn't concern you, Agent.
Put that lighter away, or you're gonna wish you had.
I do as she says, Huss. She's had a rough couple of weeks. Now back away.
If I catch you around here again, I'm likely to jump to conclusions. Julie.
It's okay. She's just sleeping.
How's her fever?
It feels a little lower. Try to sleep some more. Shh. It's okay.
Do you want to go to the playground? Maybe later. Are you sure? It's such a nice day. I think the later.
Yeah.
And as soon as we get there, you can't get her to leave. Just a little more, just 5 more minutes.
Look, always 5 more minutes. Just five more minutes.
I'm going to the quarantine. Anybody else coming? Stay if you want, but keep to yourselves. Don't let anybody else get infected. I won't tell anyone you're here. You have my word on that. Take care.
Get in there, goddamn you! No, please! There's kids here! Because they're sick. Don't do this! Selfish son of a bitch. How many people do you need to kill before you take some goddamn responsibility? At least take us to the quarantine area. You had your chance for that. Now get the fuck in there or I'll blow a goddamn hole in you. That's our water! Why are you pouring it out? It's contaminated. We don't drink from the fucking container. You think we're completely stupid? Why risk it? What an idiotic waste. Hey, don't overreact. It's only a few gallons, okay? It was almost a week's worth of water. Man, it's nothing. Relax. Hand me that shotgun, will you? Thanks. Hey, listen up. Can y'all come over this way for a sec? Get back! Cease fire! Aight. Check each other to make sure none of y'all got blood on you.
To make things worse, as if it could get any worse, DC-62 has now been weaponized. While it's unclear the exact methods used, the True Sons have figured out a way to harvest samples of the compound and utilize it as a primary ingredient for a newly developed chemical weapons program. Their most recent test was a civilian stronghold known as the Castle. To anyone listening, the Castle as you know it is gone. While a few made it underground, most of them did not. Survivors are being urged to seek treatment at the White House for decontamination. Those not contaminated are being asked to join the theater or the campus. I'm sorry for your loss. While we can be angry at the True Sons, and we need to be, let's not forget the origins of this compound and the lessons it can teach us. It was the product of a mistake, of rash thinking and desperation, of being so scared that we jumped at the first opportunity to cure the virus that we didn't even think to test it on an actual person infected or someone that was a carrier. The US government went through with this and spread it over a civilian population without warning. They killed those people. The True Sons are just the next evolution of that line of thinking. That is why we need to fight them and shut them down. That is why when you see a division agent come out of decontamination or after a mission to end a True Sun's control point, you thank them for their service. They're fighting more than just boogeymen in the streets. They're trying to take back DC from past mistakes. Keep your eyes wide and your mind open. DC isn't done with us yet, and there's more to uncover here. Save the channel if you want to know more, and until then, I'm out.
Contamination scan completed. Data uploaded to JTF servers.
Isaac, plot a course for the Capitol building. There's some agents heading that way, and I want to be there when they take down the True Suns.
Objective markers updated on map. Warning, you are now leaving the safe area.